Are you too nice?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, sure. I'll look after your cat. I'd be happy to. If you found that you recognize yourself in any of those behaviors, then you may be being too nice, and it can actually end up having the opposite effect to what you want it to. So here's how you deal with that. Hey there and welcome back to my channel. My name's Eva and I'm a career coach and customer success director on a mission to help people build meaningful careers. And today I'm talking about one of the things you probably didn't know is holding you back in your career, and that is being too nice. And you might say being nice is a good thing. It means that you care and are helpful to other people, which is great. But if you found that you haven't got time to yourself, if you've always got an overwhelming list of favors that you've promised to other people, and all your energy is just sucked into doing things for somebody else, then you may be at risk of being too nice. And this can be damaging to your career and even damaging to your relationships. So I'm going to help you strike that fine balance between being a good person and being too nice. Now, I'm going to start with the bad news. And that is that in business, unfortunately, nice people do finish last. The research by an organizational psychologist named Adam Grant looked at people across all different types of organizations in different industries and found that the lowest performers in every single role were people who we would call nice. They were thoughtful, they were caring, and they looked for ways that they could help other people. He called these people givers. And he actually outlined 3 different categories of people and how they approach their relationships. So the first are givers, and the others are matchers and takers. Now, takers approach their relationships thinking, what can you do for me? And matchers have a more reciprocal relationship with people. So more of an, if I scratch your back, will you scratch mine? So they expect a level of reciprocity. So what is happening to all of these great people that's leaving them at the bottom of the organization? Now, this data may make you think, I definitely don't want to be nice anymore and I don't want to be a good person if I want to do well in my career. But just before you jump to that conclusion, there is still good news. For one thing, organizations who have more givers overall tend to perform better. And that makes sense because these givers are working generally for the greater good. If you also look at the top performers in every organization, you get a far higher percentage of givers as well. So it's not that all nice people are at the bottom, it's just that there are more people at the bottom and the top of organizations. So what actually gets you to the top of the organization or being a doormat? What's causing the difference there? Well, the difference is strictly in our definition of the word nice and what that looks like and where it actually comes from. So the opposite of being nice is not being mean, it's actually just being respected. Think about it this way. If you were being invited out on a date by 2 different guys, and one of the guys says, I have training on Friday, but I'd love to take you out on Saturday. And the other one says, I will take you out whenever you want. I will cancel all of my plans and just really want to go out with you. Which one do you think you're going to want to go out with? It's probably the one who has a little bit something going on in their lives and is not just fully happy to refuse everything that they want and need just to please you. This is the people-pleasing person, which ultimately you're not going to have a lot of respect for, and they're the people who become the doormats. They end up in organizations doing everyone else's work for them, leaving no time to actually do their own work and the things that are going to help them progress. Now, before I get to the good part on what do we do about it, let's cut to a 10-second dance break. It's going to be a very nice one. So how do you actually fix being too nice? Stop smiling so much. You all did a terrible job and I don't like any of you anyway. Obviously, I hope you can tell I'm joking. I think that's terrible advice. Anyone who tells you you have to not be nice to get ahead in business and you have to be really mean to other people has just got it wrong. If you are in an environment of takers, number one, the research shows us that those businesses will not do that well anyway, but they're also not going to appreciate the positivity that you can add. Positivity and kindness are all amazing strengths, so you definitely want to keep those. But you have to stop yourself from becoming a doormat. So here are 5 ways that you can protect yourself from being too nice. Number 1, stop caring about everybody liking you. And no, this is not stopping to care about what anybody thinks. I think you should care what the people close to you think and the people that you're working with, but they don't have to like you based on you doing everything for them and you agreeing with everything they have to say. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but that doesn't have to be something that you take personally. It's impossible to be everything for everybody. So accept that you will be very well appreciated by the people that you keep close to you, but at work, you don't have to be everybody's best friend. And more importantly, you can still be great friends even if you disagree with them. And that brings me to step number 2, which is always being honest. Sometimes we avoid telling people the truth because we don't want to hurt their feelings or we think it's going to cause conflict at work. But particularly at work, you might have identified something that someone has missed. And if you don't share that concern, that could ultimately be bad for your team and for the business. We all know that friend who will tell us the truth even when it's not necessarily something we want to hear. And that is incredibly valuable because you're going to know where you stand with them and ultimately they can help you make a better decision. And it's the same thing at work. If you're giving your colleagues feedback, don't sugarcoat it because you are then robbing them of the opportunity to actually do better. So give people that opportunity. Step number 3, share your preferences. If you really want to do something, don't just go along with what everybody else is doing. When you share your preferences, it gives people the opportunity to actually connect with you. Research shows that people are happier when they feel that they have more control over the decisions that they make in their lives. So don't let all of those really important decisions go to somebody else. And that doesn't mean that there can't be a little bit of give and take, whether it's the movie you want to watch or what you want to have for dinner or where you're going to go for your holiday. You can always make sure that your ideas are heard as well. Step number 4, set boundaries. Think about how many times you have changed your schedule because someone else needed you to do something. And then you get to the end of the day and you haven't done any of the things on your to-do list or any of the things that were important to you. Now, setting boundaries can be really difficult, so I would recommend as a challenge, start saying no to one thing every week. After that, you can start planning the things that are most important for you to get done, and then only accept the things that you can do with joy. If you end up always spreading yourself too thinly and saying yes to another party or yes to another favor that someone asks you for, you're not really going to be showing up and you're going to be doing it begrudgingly and people will take advantage. Step number 5, ask for the things that you need too. If you're used to always doing things for other people, you might feel guilty when it comes to asking for help yourself. In fact, givers are the people who are most likely to burn out at work and then not continue to be able to perform at that standard. So don't forget to also reach out to your team if there are things that they can help you with. Ultimately, this fosters a much better environment. If you are taking things on just because you don't want to be a burden to anyone, but then you're miserable and resentful and really you're being a martyr because you're always doing things for everybody else and then no one does anything for you, well, think about whether you're actually opening up and letting people help you. When someone offers you some help, graciously accept it so that then when you give, you don't feel that you're giving just expecting people to give you something else in return. This is also really important at work. If you believe that you are working really hard and adding a lot of value, but you're not getting paid enough and you don't want to ask for money because you don't want to rock the boat and you get on really well and you don't want to cause any issues with you and your colleagues, this is the same thing. It's part of what you need. So don't be afraid to go out and ask for those things. And if you need some help, I've got another great video on how to approach that conversation and ask for a pay rise. So after that, do you still think that you need to be really mean to get ahead at work? Hopefully not. And I also hope that you see that you can be kind, you can do a great job, but you can also have boundaries and make yourself respected among your peers, and that will help your career immensely. And by the way, matchers, I'm watching you. If you're finding this useful, just subscribe this channel and give this video a like and a thumbs up to make sure that you get access to new videos every Friday. If you found this helpful, and if you are one of those people who struggles with being too nice, let me know down in the comments what are the things that you're struggling with, what's difficult to say no to, and what would be helpful to have some strategies to fight this being too nice. Thanks so much for watching.